And then December, when we did our booking blitz, I haven't gone months without parties since then, because I always book another one off of another one off of another one. I think that Sabrina is probably the queen at doing this. That's what I think about you anyway, because she is amazing and has last year, I don't know how much you did, like what was your highest PRV month, but seriously, her parties were crazy. And the way that we do that is we book parties off of parties off of parties. So, and your calendar is up to you. So if I want to hit 2,000 PRV in any given month, then how many parties do I need to host? And in my mind, I need 8 to 10. And that's saying I have a $200 party. So that's not necessarily true. Usually they come out $300-400 depending on your crowd and your hostess. Coaching is super important. So, we'll get to that. But what I wanted to tell you guys is what we do first is we take a blank, you can print out a Google Calendar, or I have my planner that I use, and you take that, you fill it up with your stuff that's going on that month. Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay, so you have your blank monthly calendar. You put in all of your events for the month. If you don't have any parties for October, then this is where you need to start right now. I will be doing mine for November because my October is I already have those that I need. So if you don't have any parties right now, you need to get parties. And this is what you need to do. You need to get a calendar out so you can see the full month. Put in your things that you have going on. I know that on Sundays, I'm not going to do parties because I do my family day, and then we do team. Yeah, it's posted on our team page. Oh, that call. Yes, we can do that. Okay, sorry about that. We have a new team member and they're wanting to meet up. Anyway, so I will take the calendar, block out anything that I have going on, and make sure that my days, whatever your Sabbath day or your rest day, whatever you want to call it is, you want to mark that out because you're not going to host parties that day, or do parties that day. And then you look at the rest of your calendar and you look and say, what do I have left? What days do I prefer to do parties? I personally like Tuesdays and Thursdays because I like my weekends for my family. So, and that's preferable to whatever for you. I want Saturdays with my girls and my husband, and that's just the way it is. Can you put them outside because they are really loud? Sorry, we have 3 boxers, and my mom's dog is staying with us while she's out of town, so they are loud. Anyway, what days do you have left? What days do you prefer to do parties? This is super important. How many parties do you want to book? Then you're going to start texting and messaging people, okay? And I'm going to tell you just a little spill of maybe what I would say. I have been known to say things like, hey, I need parties this month. Would you be willing to host a party for me? That's not usually how I do it, but I have done that before. And most of my closest friends and family will be like, heck yeah, we'll do a party for you. But that's not how I want to approach customers outside of that group, okay? So if you're just starting, you don't have any parties booked, you may want to start with your closest friends and family. I like to keep my closest friends and family on reserve for things like, I'm this close to earning my incentive trip, I need this right now, or something like that. But if you're starting out and that's just where you are, that's where you are, you need to contact your friends and family and tell them what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve, okay? The other thing that I'll do is I'll say something like, would you be willing to host a Cincy party or a bingo party and earn some free and half off items? I have some openings on these dates, and give them the dates. And I would love to make sure you get spoiled at your party. Okay, something like that. And then they're going to respond, hopefully. Sorry, we have apparently a lot of background noise happening at my house tonight. And then I find that text messaging works best for me, but calling people, texting them, calling is awesome, but texting and messaging work fine for me too. Texting is my favorite way to communicate with people. And then I want to let them know what dates I have available and let them pick their day and let's go. Okay. And most of the time, I don't necessarily get a lot of no's on this. I get more of a yes, or can I do it in December rather than November, or they ignore me completely, and that's perfectly okay with me because that just means not yet, right? After you have your parties booked, after you've written them down in your calendar and you're ready, you know the time, you know the dates, you have them all booked. You have start with 4 if 8 sounds too overwhelming to you, start with 4 parties. And then you need to go watch, I believe it is on YouTube, Sabrina's Hostess Coaching, right? It's recorded, I think. I think so too. Okay, I think it's on our Brave YouTube channel, and it's probably in Be Brave Family somewhere. But you need to watch the Hostess Coaching. There's also a file for Hostess Coaching. Go look at that. Make sure you know what it is, and coach your hostesses so that they know what you need to do for your party so that you actually get some PRV on that. Okay, you don't want a bunch of people showing up without any expectation of buying anything. That's super important. So when you do the party, this is a goal, and if I go with this goal, it 99.9% happens, okay? I go to a party with the intent of booking at least one more party at the very minimum. Like, that's my goal when I leave there. I want someone to join my team, and I want a party. So, like, if I think that in my head and I know that I'm going with the intent to get a party, I'm going to get a party. I don't always get a team member. I wish that would happen more often. I do always offer the opportunity, but I want another party booked off of that. And I want to go to their house for a party, and I want it in my calendar. So when you go to your parties, you take your calendar with you so you know your dates, okay? We're going to have people say no. We're going to have people ignore us, and that is A-okay. We're going to move on to the next person. We're not going to get discouraged about it. We're going to move on to the next person. Once you have all of, I already told you that about watch the Hostess Coaching. One more thing that Sabrina said last year, and it just stuck with me because I never actually thought about it this way, but when you ask someone to host a party for you and they say yes, you assume a home party. Always assume it's a home party. There should be no other expectation. My customers know, unless they live in Virginia or something like that, then we're doing a home party, and they can request otherwise. They may say something like, oh, I don't want some people in my house. Okay, that's fine. We'll use my house. Or they might say, hey, I'm not really comfortable with that. Can I just take some catalogs in a bag with me? Yes, we can do that. Do you do Facebook parties? Absolutely, I will. But I'm going to assume that it's a home party always, always, always. Home parties, you may not feel comfortable doing them, but you won't get comfortable doing them until you do them. You have to actually do them, and that's where you bank your money. That's where you get your sales, or home parties, and you get better each time you do them. That is all I have to say right now before we get started in a few minutes, because we have some homework for y'all. Lisa, Sabrina, do one of y'all want to talk for a minute?
I guess I'll talk. Okay, so I'm Lisa. You guys really can't see me. That it's because the baby's fussy, and if I turn on the light, she's gonna wake up. So I'm gonna talk in the dark. I love to do home parties, but through seasons of life, sometimes like that might not always be happening with a new baby. So I've been doing a lot of bag parties and Facebook parties, but I do always try to go for the home party. A lot of my customers are not local to me, so I will mail them bag parties, and they mail them back to me. I don't put a full set of testers in there when I do that. I put like maybe 10 to 12, and I'll ask them like what type of scents do they like? Like, do they prefer baked, clean, classics, yada, yada, yada. That's what I got on parties. Booking parties and continuing your calendar, like Amanda had said, is what like keeps the momentum of your business going. So, I mean, you're always going to feel, peaks and flows in your business. But if you are continuously trying to book parties, you're going to continually be meeting new people and expanding your circle. And then you won't feel like you're burning out your favorite friends and family of buying something, because they can only buy so much. So you do have to get out of your comfort zone and meet other people. And one easy way to do that is parties. And when you do parties, you got to make sure you got a good follow-up game, because you want these people to continue to be your customers after the first initial contact with them if they are new to buying for you. I got a lot of notes on mine about front loading. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the term front loading. I know Cassie uses it all the time, and front loading is super important. So like, you don't want to be waiting till the end of the month to be trying to get your orders. I mean, things happen and we do that, but it's awesome to front load your month. So you kind of want to already be booking parties for November, December, if you already got your October taken care of in parties. You want to try to like get your goals within the first 15 days of the month. Like if you're going for 500, you want to try to get that within the first 15 days, because then you still have room to expand or get more, or maybe host a couple more parties throughout the month. Or if you have a team, you have time to focus on them and you're not still trying to get your sales and stuff like that. Like Cincy, when you first joined, they set you up with a shooting star achievement award. And that is just something that and I heard this on a video today, like that's just something that we should continually be trying to earn every month. Because if we could do it then, we could do it now. We can continually get 515 days. And that's like the same with sponsoring too. Like you want to try to do it like early in the month. Okay, so I have a couple of ideas on how to front load your months. You could give incentives. So right now when we do a booking blitz, if you have your calendar out and you know per se you want to book a party the 10th, 11th, and 12th, you could use something like, oh, if you choose the 12th as a party date, you could get a nightlight warmer for $12. And you can use your perpetual reward. Giving your customers an incentive gives them like more reason to book in those certain time frames. And you don't really want to come out of pocket a lot on the incentives that you're doing for them. So the perpetual reward, host credit, stuff like that is awesome. What else do I have? You could do like battle of your bestie parties. Those are like super awesome, where you get to host and they're battling to see who gets the most rewards. Those are fun. She already touched on bingo parties, and I'll let Sabrina talk about home parties because she's like the queen of that. You won't have confidence in booking parties until you continually book parties, because it is scary, and we all know that. And so how you get unscared and it just becomes more natural to you is by continually to do it. So it is nerve-wracking. You probably do feel like you're annoying people if that is how you feel. I don't know. But just ask, because the worst thing that they're going to tell you is no. And don't let it hurt your feelings. It's okay, because a year from now, when they still see that you're still working your business, they might change their mind and decide that they want some free and half off, or that they want to join your team. You just never know. What else do I have here? Oh yeah, on Be Brave Family, I've seen some people that were doing like some challenges, like they would challenge their host. Oh, so if you get $300 in orders, I'll do this. If you get $500 in orders, I'll let my kids pie me in the face. That's fun for everybody, right? That was, I guess, working really well for some people. I have not tried it yet, but I do have it on my notes here to get a party to be able to try that. That's all I got here, really. Is just pick your dates and offer incentives and think outside the box for themes. Like you could do sip and sniffs. Also, you don't have to just do like a Scentsy party. Like make it fun. I have a gal every catalog season. She always does a Taco Tuesday night, and I bring my Scentsy. She has a home party. It's normally anywhere from $800 to $1,000. And she doesn't even say anything really about Scentsy. She calls it Taco Tuesday night. So that's awesome. That's all I got. Sabrina, you got anything on home party?
Sure. About so booking parties and getting them booked. I'm trying to think back to because I know y'all are here because you want ideas and how to get parties booked and things like that. And I'm thinking back to when I first started, and I think the best way that I was able to get parties booked in the beginning. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Cassie. Did I imagine that she asked if she could share?
Hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry. No, I'm just asking because I just remembered I have to take cookies to our homeschool group tomorrow, and I'm not making them. I need to get to the store now. I was going to share this on Brave earlier, and I forgot. But when I sent out my customer mail this month, I made labels. And if you guys don't use Avery.com making labels, you should. It took me years to actually start using it, but you can make any kind of labels out there. So when I put in my customer mail this time, I made if you can see this, a label. It's on the front, and it says my September hostess earned this, and I put in my 2 hostesses earned free, and my phone went blank. Half off. One of them, it says host number 1 got 36 free and 3 half off items. Now I did include the perpetual reward in there because it sounds better, and they got it. I gave it to them, and then and then host number 2 got $101 free and 4 half off items. So what I'm saying is I followed up yesterday with about 20 people. I also posted on Brave exactly what I was sending to them, and 2 of them wrote me back, and both of them said, I was going to contact you today. I would like to book a party, because they saw that. So thinking outside the box, putting things out there where they see what people are getting is a really great way also to get parties booked. So now I've got 2 parties this week, Facebook, but that's what I do, 2 parties that I didn't have yesterday because I put a sticker that really cost me nothing on there. That's what I got.
Awesome. And to piggyback onto that is, I don't know, like a lot of the other direct sales companies, their hostess rewards stink. So people don't really realize how amazing the Scentsy hostess rewards are until, you get it in front of them and show them and let them truly see what they can be earning. Because like I said, I've talked to, since I've gotten into Scentsy, a lot of other direct sales people, and I'm like, are you kidding me? How do you even get parties booked with those hostess rewards? So we're pretty lucky, and we need to take advantage of that. And that, what Cassie just showed, is one way to take advantage of that, to show what hostesses can truly earn and get for free. So going back to what I was saying, that when I was just starting out and getting parties booked, I started out with smell sessions. I was trying to get my shooting star, the 515 days. I got a Facebook launch party going, and then I just started messaging everybody, and I got some smell sessions booked. And then when you're at your smell session, you can, just after you've gone through the catalog, smelled the scents, had a great time, bottle of wine, whatever, then it's kind of like, this was awesome. Do you think that, we could have a party, get some friends together and do this again? And then you get everything that you just picked out, you could, possibly get free or half off and then not pay for it. And because the way I found with that is that during the smell session, they're writing down their wish list. So they're going to want to do a party because they can't afford everything they've just picked out, most people. So that's, one way that I was able to get parties booked. And then another way that I get parties booked is, besides, the just asking, like everybody said, with the booking blitz, but when people place orders, or say you are, throwing a post down on Facebook or whatever, and it's a $40-$50 warmer, which those are beautiful, gorgeous, and everybody asks, oh, well, how much is that? I always tell them, well, the warmer's $40, but you could host a party and get it free or half off. Our diffusers are perfect for that, because when I tell people it only takes a $350 party to get a diffuser half off, they are jumping on that. That they'd much rather pay $65 or $75 than the $130 or $150 for a diffuser. So I promote those diffusers like crazy. And then when they're like, oh, I love it, I have to have it. Oh, it's $130, book a party. And then that $130 sale becomes anywhere from $400, $1,200, whatever, you can get out of that party. Even if it's just 2 more sales, then you've turned one sale, you multiplied your sales essentially by doing the parties. And then when I'm at my parties, I don't focus on selling, which sounds really weird at a party, but I do not focus on selling. I show the products, and then I move on to who's going to book a party and who is my potential recruit. Because the sales are going to come. When somebody comes to a home party, and when I go to a home party, I'm thinking, okay, I know I'm going to buy something. How much can I spend? But you're buying something. And when people come to a home party, they know they're spending money. So I don't need to worry about the sales. The sales are going to come. Focus on who's going to book the party next. So I try to get at least 2 parties at every party so that I'm multiplying out. And actually, while I'm setting up, I'm asking my hostess, I've talked to her about, flipping the party, joining, whatever. But I'm also asking her, who's coming tonight that you think might be interested in hosting a party or doing Scentsy? So she's already giving me names of people that I can kind of, watch during the party, watch their reactions while I'm talking about things. And then when they come to check out, everybody that checks out, even though I've asked during the party about hosting a party or joining, I can feel them out throughout the party. And when they check out, I'm either asking them, are you sure you don't want to book a party? Or I'm asking them about joining. But they're getting one of those 2 questions again. And that's normally where I'll get my parties booked. People will wait until that checkout time because they've thought about it the whole time during the party. And then I'm giving them one last opportunity. And it's an opportunity for them. They're not doing it for me. They're getting free and half off stuff. So it's one more opportunity for them to actually book a party. So that's at my home parties. And then if they didn't book a party at the party, you better believe when I'm delivering their stuff that if I see them personally, I'll ask them again, hey, whatever your name is, are you sure that you wouldn't want to book a party? Or, hey, if you ever want to book a party, make sure you let me know. That's usually what I'll say because that's the easiest, less intrusive way, as I'm handing them their stuff. Don't forget, if you want to book a party and get some free and half off Scentsy, let me know. So I'll have people call me a week later. They're like, hey, I decided that I think I want to book a party. So, they get their stuff. They love it. They've opened it. They're looking through the catalog. They need more. That's when they decide maybe they want to book another party or book a party. Let me see, how else do I get them?
Don't tell them everything.
Shut up. My husband is dork.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, Facebook parties work the same way too. So like when people are checking out and you're getting their orders, ask them at that time, I hope you had a great time at the party. Do you think that you'd want to do one of your own? Or, and then what I started doing actually is, how you get the notifications when people order online that an order has shipped? I'll click on the tracking number and I will notice the day that it will be delivered. And then I set a reminder in my phone to contact them the day after. And I will ask them, hey, just wanted to make sure that your stuff arrived okay. And then that's another opportunity. if you had a great time, I'm booking parties for November or December. And a good thing to say too is, would you like to book a party next month? Because that way they're not thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to want to do this next week. I don't have time. My house isn't ready. But saying next month kind of gives them, it takes a little bit of the pressure off of, like, I remember I'd go into direct sales parties before I started Scentsy, and they're like, oh, if you book a party in the next 2 weeks, then you're going to get this, but it has to be in the next 2 weeks. And there's no way I'm doing that. You're not going to pressure me into that. So giving them the next month or whatever, or even 2 months out, as long as you get a date. Don't just be, oh, sure, I'll do one in November. You can't leave it at that. Give them 2 to 3 dates to choose from. Once they come back and say, yeah, they want to do a party. And then, like Amanda said, I love Tuesdays and Thursdays because I want my weekends free. And Wednesday is church night for most people. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are perfect. So if they ask you, what's your best night, then tell them, don't be afraid to say, well, I love to do parties on this. But I always tell them too, honestly, it's whatever night you can get the most friends and family together. And then it kind of, because you don't want to pick a Tuesday and they know all their friends are doing football that night, so that's no good. So it kind of has to work both ways, but you start out with, well, these are my favorite nights, but what's the best night you can get the most friends and family together? And actually with the Facebook parties, I started going back to the week-long parties because I found that trying to do a live on a certain night at a certain time and getting everybody together, it's almost like, any other get-together that you're trying to do. People aren't available or whatever. So I went back to the week-long, and it's worked really well for me. I actually had planned to put together some statistics ever since I started doing this outline where I'm messaging them, making sure they're getting my messages, and I'll share that with y'all sometime too. But so every order, ask for a party, assume it's a home party. If they don't want to do that, then you go to the bag and the Facebook parties. But I think those are, I guess, my best tips for actually getting them booked. If you're brand new, the booking games absolutely work. If you've been doing this a little bit longer, people are they know the booking game and they're not really going to participate or play or whatever. But if you're new, that was another way that I got parties booked in the beginning, was through the booking game posts on Facebook. So I think that's about all I have.
That's awesome. Those are good tips. So are we going to get started on a booking list? Do you have anything else to
y'all have a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's go over these questions real quick. Some people are asking about the Facebook parties, and Cassie, if you can talk at any time, we would love to have you answer. But because I do Facebook parties, if people want them, that's perfectly fine. And I'll tell you from my experience, that some are great, some are not great. But here's the deal. Just like Sabrina, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to keep calling you out here. But just like you hostess coach for your home parties, or you should, if you haven't, you need to learn how to do that. You need to do that for your Facebook parties as well, because those people aren't coming to that for you. They are not coming for me. They don't know me. They don't care about me or what I'm selling or what my family needs to make this month to make it. They don't care about any of that. They care about their hostess and the person that is has invited them to that party. So it's really important that you do some hostess coaching with your hostesses. If your hostesses are not involved, or your host, I guess it can be a guy too, if they're not involved in that, or they're not doing anything in those Facebook parties, I have found that those parties either equal 0 or very little amount of PRV. And it's all about the hostess or host, because that's who people want to support. that being said, I found a way to, and I don't know where I have it saved, but I took the hostess coaching list that Sabrina did and made one specifically for Facebook, because it's important to me that they understand that they are the reason that there will be any kind of success. And another way to turn that around for them is when they are successful, you can tell them how easy it is to sell this product, because, well, they just did that. And I'm not saying they need to sell on Facebook parties. I do the selling. I will go in there and post the pictures, and depending on a week long or a live, whichever they prefer, that's my job to make sure that all of the stuff is out there, but it's their job to make sure their people are interacting. So, I want them to post about their favorite warmer or their favorite scent or what they're looking for, their wish list. I mean, there are things that you want them to be interactive about. Also, you don't want them going in and inviting all of the people on their friends list. That is not, I hate that. Like, personally, when I get invites from people that don't know me at all, and they just have invited me to all the events, it drives me nuts. So I can't imagine that people want that either. So, like, for me, it would be better if you messaged me and said, hey, I'm hosting a Scentsy party, and I really would love for you to join us. It'll be at this time, if it's a live, or it'll be this week or whatever, and you can see the awesome stuff that Amanda has for you. That's great. Okay, let's do that. The hostesses and hosts on Facebook parties are essential, just like any other party, but seriously. Like, if they take a party on the go and they do nothing with it and it sits in their car and all your wax melts, or it goes to their office and sits next to their desk and they never do anything with it, you're not going to get any PRV on that, right? And they're not going to get any rewards on that. Just like a home party, if they don't invite people, or they tell people, hey, come and don't buy anything, I don't need you to buy anything, I just want you to show up, those are not effective ways to get parties going. So make sure we're doing our coaching with our hostesses to make sure they know, hey, this is going to be successful depending on what you put into it. And I don't want to like put it all off on them, because you don't want to make it sound difficult. Am I saying this right? Somebody interrupt me if I need to be interrupted. Okay, I'm good. Okay, because your hostesses are the way it's going to be successful. In February, I believe, Daniel and I did a Facebook party, and it was awful. Okay, it was a Facebook Live. She wanted a Facebook party, and so I did all the hostess coaching. I gave her all the information she needed. I said, hey, I want you to go into your page about an hour before, make sure you post, hey, this is getting started in an hour, something like that. She did literally nothing. Okay, she didn't even show up to her live that she requested at her time. Like, I was working with her schedule. She didn't even show up. But some of her friends did, oddly enough, and we didn't get zero sales on the party, and I was so discouraged, y'all. I mean, like, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that is horrible. And these are, because I don't know if y'all feel it, but like, there's like a gloom that comes over you when things aren't going very well, and so that is like cancerous, by the way, so get rid of it. Like, it has to go. You have to be positive, you have to be happy, you have to do your thing like you're supposed to. But anyway, I was like really sad about this, but by the end of it, and we tried to play a game and she wasn't playing, it was terrible. Somebody was like, when I offered the join opportunity, they were like, I want to join your team. And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, that sounds like a blast. And they ended up joining the next day, and that was awesome. So it was totally worth it. The whole party, even though it was a bust, was totally worth it. So my encouragement to you guys is, when you're getting those zeros or those terrible parties, make sure that you have interacted with people enough, not just posted your scheduled post or whatever, but like you're talking to people somehow. I do it through a Facebook Live. Even if I do a week-long event, I'll still do a live of some kind in their event page, maybe two. Because I want to interact with these people, and I want to somehow build some kind of relationship with them to where they can feel comfortable saying, hey, I would love to join your team. Or, hey, what kind of diffuser do you like? What's your favorite scent oil? I mean, I want them to be able to feel comfortable asking me things like that. So don't give up on stuff, even when it's a zero. But your hostess coaching, when I see things like this, and I hope this doesn't come out the wrong way, but when I see things like these posts about the Facebook parties not working out, for me personally, this is what I do when things like that happen. I go in and say, what do I need to do differently? Okay. How do I need to change what's happening here? Because clearly my party didn't turn out well. And sometimes there's nothing you can do. Sometimes you did it all right and you just don't have the greatest hostess. And that's great. But at the same time, what can I do to make sure that this doesn't happen again? And my encouragement to all of you would be, make sure your hostess coaching is top notch, because that is your key to success. Sabrina, Lisa, Cassie, do y'all have anything you want to say about that, or anybody else for that matter?
One of the best Facebook parties can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The top Facebook party I've ever had was actually a year ago with Danielle on here, if she's still on. And I'm not sure what made it so great is that because I'm not a good hostess coacher, because if I'm being 100% honest, because I don't want to annoy people, right? And it scares me that I'm being too much and all that stuff. But her party was very good because she took it upon herself. And, oh my gosh. Sorry, prices at Publix are not my friend. Anyway, she took it upon herself and she did what she needed to do. Another thing that I tend to do is I send hostess and 5 VIP packets with some samples. I haven't done it in a while, but I'll tell you, statistically speaking, I've also seen a huge drop in my Facebook parties as well. So I don't know if Danielle's still on or if she'd want to speak up about that party or even how her parties are doing, but it's all about making sure your hostess cares. If you're having to beg someone to do a party over and over and over, and they're not going to do anything, and we just have to accept that. Okay.
I think that when you do Facebook parties, your hostess coaching for Facebook parties has to be over the top, because you do have to get your hostess excited. Everybody does Facebook parties these days. I get invited to them weekly, multiple different parties a week. So a lot of people are doing Facebook parties. So you got to be different. You have to stand out, and your host has to get her people involved because they know her, they don't know you, So my hosts are very into their Facebook party, it is way more PRV. People are way more interactive, and people are more likely to book a party because they're going to be inviting they're going to be inviting their people. My goodness, I'm not on my computer, so I can't open the message. That's fine. But when you do Facebook parties, I lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness. So when you do Facebook parties, your host has to be interactive on it. Otherwise, if it seems like it's going nowhere, when mine seem like that, when they're going nowhere, I just try to see if my host can maybe tag some of her people in it and make sure that she's sending a personal message letting them know, hey, the party's going to be, here. Or if people don't show up, that's fine. But if they RSVP'd, maybe they got busy, maybe they forgot about it, maybe their phone died. You never know what's going on in their life. So before you close the party out a couple days later, send them a message hey, Angie, just letting you know Sarah's party is going to be closing. Don't know if you needed help placing an order, but if you do, just let me know. Something simple, bam, to the point. Sometimes that is what gets my parties qualifying if they are kind of not happening. So that's what I got for that.
I don't know why I'm going to share this, but it's funny. When we do a Facebook party, we always play a couple of games, but they have to involve the hostess, and I let them know that they're going to do that. But one of the games that we play, and it is hilarious to me, is that I saw it on Pinterest one day, but we do ruin a date using 4 words. We also did this at SFR for our, when we presented at SFR at one of the expos, ruin a date using 4 words, because it is an immediate icebreaker. People are laughing within just a couple of minutes. And then we have found, Daniel and I have found that when we do that on a live and people are on the live and we say, okay, in the comments below, make sure you respond and you get, we do entries into drawings, things like that. Make sure you, post how to ruin a date using 4 words, and then they just like vomit like how to ruin a date in 4 words. It's hilarious. Sometimes I have to say, hey, you'll need to keep it, make sure we keep it clean, make sure things like that. And then we read them out loud, like on the Facebook Live. So that's a lot of fun. I don't know if that helps anybody, but we have a blast with it. We do that at our home parties too. I don't love Facebook parties. I love home parties. I think home parties are, and not everybody loves home parties. So, but home parties for me are where it is at. And you build relationships with people face to face, and that's why I love them. Does anyone have anything else they want to say about all that? Okay. So the last thing who's talking? Sorry. Who did I interrupt?
It's Cassie. I was just going to say, a lot of times we feel like, and you may have said this in the beginning before I was on, but a lot of times we feel like, I don't want to book parties. I don't want to annoy people with parties. You have to remember that we are in a party-based business. And even if we, don't do a lot of parties, we are selling a product. A lot of times, I also hear people saying, well, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to do it. Figure out other ways. You need to be in the VIP page thing we're doing right now. Figure out ways you don't have to be salesy. People are going to want to do things with you. Like the 2 people that contacted me to party. They are great customers of mine. They're actually both leaders in their network marketing company, but we don't do the whole party swap thing. I'm very about that. I'm not going to buy from you just for you to buy from me. But they both came to me because they see how I work my business. I don't beg for parties. I don't even know, y'all. Like, there are some months I think, Lord, how on earth am I going to hit my goals this month? I have to have X amount or whatever. Like, I've always been a 2000er. But I do this full time. Remember that when I say that. But there are times when I'm like, I have absolutely nothing planned for this month. And I will find myself getting really stressed out. Like, even in September, I was like, okay, 2 people contacted me for parties. It was great. Had great parties because they rocked it. And I thought, oh crap, I don't have anything now. And somehow, some way, it always comes. And I'll tell you, the main reason is because I'm consistent. I'm consistent in my business, even when I don't feel like working, even when I don't feel like showing up. Even today, this is not about booking parties, but I just have to say, I know that Amanda sells like a ton of Cincy Buddies. I don't have a lot of people. I have one customer that seems to buy every single one. And this morning, Amanda said something on Marco Polo, how she got all these orders for Cincy Buddies. And I'm like, I don't have any. I didn't say that to her, but that's what my brain thought, And I saw someone post a really, really cute graphic about the new buddies, which, by the way, I was just schooled. They are not llamas. I don't know the difference between the two. But anyways, I saw a really cute graphic. I'd already posted twice about it. And I thought, you know what? No, 3rd time's a charm. I'm going to post this again. I posted in my VIP page, and the title was just like, oh, my goodness, are these not the cutest things ever? And lo and behold, that customer said, I want one of each. That's a $70 order, Like, even if I don't sell a lot of them, it's that way in your business, whether it's parties, whether it's product, whether it's recruiting. If you get a no or you get ignored and you stop trying, that's when we mess up. Like, you cannot, even this morning, I did not recruit a single person in the $49 join. And Danielle, if you're still on here, you were telling me about you last night, and I thought, oh, I need to resonate with her. I need to tell her, like, girl, I didn't either. But it's also that fear, like, I don't want people thinking I'm not trying. I'm sure we've all been there. But I posted about it. I messaged people. And this morning, if I didn't get a message from someone wanting to join, I'm like, well, now it's $99, But they see me consistently showing up. So that's totally off on a tangent. But it's so, so, so important in your business. You want people to do parties with you, whether it's home Facebook that they need to see that you're not going anywhere. Even had a hostess. I'm going to shut up after this. The hostess that got $100 free last month. She wrote me yesterday and she said, "Oh my," because my husband went and delivered her Scentsy, and she said, "Thank you so much for packaging all these orders and all the extra freebies, because I had way too many bath soaks." So I gave her one and said, "Thank you so much." And I said, I basically said exactly to her what I said to Danielle last year. Your friends are amazing, and you just had a great party, because she did $100 free. That's a pretty good party. And I said, if you ever consider selling Scentsy, it's $49 this month. And she said, maybe one day. And my response to her was, I'll be here. And they do know I'll be here. My customers know I'm not going anywhere. And that's one of the things I used to tell people all the time early on in my
Say, so if you're newer, this is so key. People, sorry, I'm dark now. People want to see that you're not going to quit. People want to see that you're going to be one that's different, because so many people quit direct sales network marketing. Okay, I'm shutting up.
Okay, so let me explain the alpaca thing, because I had a $300 order to put in this morning, but then they released these alpacas, and I happen to be a mom of a 12-year-old, okay? And I don't know if y'all have any 12-year-olds running around, but it's all the things llamas and alpacas. That's what's happening in the whole wide world. All the birthday cakes. There's even like a game on their phones, like this alpaca something or another. And Natalie, my 12-year-old's always like, "Hey, Mom, look at the new alpaca I got. His name is blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, what? So I know a lot of moms who need alpacas for Christmas presents. So I messaged all of my moms out there that I, interact with. And I said, "Hey, look what just came out." And I know all of their kids want one. I mean, it's a given. Now Natalie is hosting her own alpaca party because she needs an alpaca, and I don't buy her Scentsy Buddies. So she has to buy them or get them free on her own. See, she's too excited about alpacas. Okay, back up. Okay, so she is hosting her own Scentsy party, and she'll take catalogs and scents and all that to school just so she can get her free and half off alpaca. And she wants both of them, not just one of them. So she has some work to do. And if you have kids, yes, it is genius. Make them host their own party. And yes, we do a home party. In fact, on October 26th, Natalie's having her costume party, and I told her the alpacas won't make it that long, because if there are any other 12-year-old moms to 12-year-olds out there, we're selling them all. But anyway, we are having a party on October 26th, and Natalie's hosting. It's a costume party, but it's also a Scentsy party, and she does the whole thing. She is like a little consultant on her own, doesn't even need my help. So it's great. She gets all the product off of it, and it's awesome. So that's just a little side note. Our challenge to you guys tonight, my personal challenge to you is for you to, we were going to do a booking blitz, but I feel like we didn't prep enough for that, like tell you guys what we're doing, and then you like have to be on your computer. I don't know if you're on your phones or your computer, so we didn't tell you guys to be ready for that. So my challenge to each and every one of you right now tonight is to text or message, and I would say 20 people, because you're going to get some no's or some ignorings, and ask them to host a party for you in whatever way that you think is a good way to say it. Okay, so it depends on who you're messaging. Oh yeah, or tomorrow's good. I forget that y'all are in Florida and it's really late there. So anyway, message and text people and call however you feel comfortable doing it, and go for the no. Cassie has always said that from the get-go, go for the no. The more no's you get, the closer you get to a yes. Somebody may have said it before her, but that's who introduced me to it, so that's who I go. Do you guys have any questions for us? This is the head.
Smart sometimes.
What? You are smart. You're super smart. That's why I joined you. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, you guys, I wish you the best of. Post in Breebury family. However many parties you get. That's what I want to see. Okay. It's super awesome. I'm gonna do it too because I need my November and December booked up. What's up, Cassie?
If you need help with wording, also post in Be Brave Family so people can come on there and help you with things to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right.